a world of fun and fantasy, and ever-changing views, and computer terminology. Commodore's news. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.
Hi, I'm Graham and welcome back to the Commodore Cave. Today I'm going to show you the 1581 floppy disk drive. This drive came out in 1987, 2 full years after the release of Amiga. It sold for around about $400 US, which in today's currency is around $2,000 US. It provided a 3.5 inch solution to not only the Commodore 128 but also the 64 and all the way back to the VIC-20 machines. Commodore got into floppy disk game very early on for its PET series computers. It had the 8050 dual floppy disk drive, wonderful massive beast for the day. Then they came out with the slimmed down 1541, which is the ubiquitous one. You'll probably find that most commonly today. They then trimmed that down even further and came out with this much smaller 1541-2. Then we have the 1571, which was the first dual-sided floppy disk, could read both sides. And then we come up with our 1581. These all used the 5 1/4 floppy disks. This one used the 3.5. The drive was squarely marketed towards the massive 64 and the 128 market, even though it was backwardly compatible all the way to the VIC-20s. Looking around the drive, we have 2 LEDs, a red and a green. One is for power, one is for access. We have our eject button over here. Some air vents. Over at the back, we've got a couple of serial ports. This is handy. We could easily change the device number with the 2 dip switches in here. There's our power supply and our on-off switch. The power supply is not inside the unit as it was for the others. This one comes with its own separate power supply. On our back we have our model information and serial number. It has a 6502 processor, 8 kilobytes of RAM on board as well as 32K of ROM, and it used its own proprietary MFM encoding system, not the same as what was used by Amiga or even MS-DOS or Mac. This allowed a 3.5 inch double-sided double density disk to be formatted right up to 800 kilobytes and allowed partitions as well. And it's not too hard to see that this drive actually bears more of a resemblance to the Amiga 1010 drive than it does to the 15 series. Since it only has 2 screws holding the case on, wouldn't be right if we didn't have a quick look under the bonnet, see what we have in here. Open the case. We have our shielding and 4 more screws holding the chassis on. Drive comes out and there's the motherboard beneath it. I've connected the 1581 to my trusty Commodore 64 down there. I've set it up so that you can see the drive with the monitor behind it at the same time, so you can see what's going on together. I'll turn it on and both lights come on. The green light flashes for momentarily and turns off, looking for the disc. No disc in there. And then the red light, power light comes on, of course. Nothing on the screen. Our disc. Okay, now this disc has been formatted to 800K and it does have all the information on it. Interestingly enough, those observant amongst you will notice both the write protect notches are open. Now, on the normal Amigas, that wouldn't be reading it now because it would say it's high density disk, which in fact it is, but this drive won't take any notice of that at all. So we'll plug it in. Sits in the drive, nothing. Now we'll issue the command, load directory. This is device 9, so it doesn't clash with the other drives. And our access light's coming on. Let's see what we have. Should be 1 or 2 programs on there, if I can spell it. And there are a few programs in there. So this disk drive is absolutely brilliant for programs such as GEOS, which needs a lot of files to support it. It comes with an owner's manual which has 127 pages, and it tells you things such as the basic 2 commands: save and replace, verify, rename and copy. It can create directories, can scratch files and do pattern matching with the asterisk and the question mark. There are internal disk commands included, such as memory read, memory write, memory execute, even an auto bootloader. On top of that, we've got burst commands such as read, write, inquire and fast load. It's loaded up our menu program, and you can see on this 1800K disk it actually has an awful lot of software packed into it. What about, let's go for Donkey Kong Jr. Drive activates. Don't know if you can hear the drive. Can't hear it stepping, it's just humming along. And Donkey Kong Jr. comes up. In this example, I'm going to load the first program that starts with letter A. It's got the wildcard next to it. And if we run it, we find we have asteroids going. Just in case you think the Commodore Cave is always neat and tidy, join me next time when hopefully this is all back together and working 100%, and we'll be looking at the amazing 1060 IBM sidecar. Well, that's it for me today from the Commodore Cave. If you found the video interesting, please leave a thumbs up, or better still, leave a comment, or better still, subscribe. Until next time from the cave, see ya. Are you keeping up with the Commodore? 'Cause the Commodore is keeping up with you.